All right, Dan. It's the day after. The day after the very public, messy divorce.
The big, beautiful breakup, as everyone on Twitter is calling it.
Yeah, it's like when you wake up after a night of maybe too much drinking, and you're like, did I say or do thing? And then you look at your phone, you're like, ooh, should I have said that? Should I have sent that message? Did that really happen at that party? It's that kind of thing, you know?
And so in this scenario, that's Trump and Elon?
That's Trump and Elon, yeah.
Okay.
And they're like, did we really? And, there was some speculation yesterday. Maybe this whole thing blows over today. Maybe they de-escalate and maybe they make up. Maybe they make amends. Maybe there's a call between Trump and Elon. It does not seem like that's happening. Here is Fox News with the latest between Trump and Elon.
We bring you some breaking news, this time from Bret Baier, who just spoke to President Trump on the phone. Trump is not interested in talking to Elon. Trump is not worried about threats of a third party. A direct quote from Bret Baier from President Trump. The quote from President Trump is this: Elon has totally lost it.
Tough.
Oof.
Tough.
Lost it.
Playbook had similar reporting at Politico. Apparently, White House aides were supposed to hold a call with Elon to try to broker peace, but certainly Trump's not getting on that call. I don't know. What do you think, Dan?
Well, I mean, Trump didn't just call Bret Baier. He called Dana Bash. He called John Karl. He called Dasha Burns of Politico. He is so unconcerned about this that he's calling every reporter in town to tell them how just unbothered he is by this whole Elon thing. He's not even focused on it. He's just calling to tell them that he's not focused on it because he's definitely not focused on it.
Can I throw out a few anonymous quotes from White House officials to
please
Playbook
do.
for you?
Yes.
One person close to the White House said, the president is worried Elon is not well and is just kind of freaking out. But he's still Trump, so he'll punch at whoever punches him if he thinks he needs it. Another senior administration official said, everyone knew this was going to end badly. We're dealing with someone who is unstable. We saw it coming. Do you think they're talking about Trump or Elon?
You really could do a blind taste test on these. Not well, unstable, could be either.
We have one president, one person got elected, and then another person close to the White House with this shot at Elon. Elon couldn't buy a Wisconsin Supreme Court seat. You really think that people are going to be afraid of his money?
Tough.
Fighting words.
A lot of really brave anonymous White House aides out there who are definitely not afraid of the money, which is why they're definitely not using their name in these quotes.
Also, I saw that Trump is considering selling or giving away the red Tesla that he purchased back in March, which is very relatable to just thousands of liberals everywhere.
Yeah, I suggested that maybe he should get that "I bought this Tesla before Elon lost his mind" sticker that you see so often out there these days in California.
He should. I like that he's not just giving away. He's like maybe going to sell it. What is Trump going to? He's going to do a used car salesman now.
He might. I could see him auctioning it off to whoever buys it. Do an auction. Highest bidder gets, I don't know, to write an EO or something.
Yeah.
In this pay-for-play White House.
That's probably right. So, so that's Trump. The rest of MAGA World, MAGA media on Fox, the other right-wing media types, they're having sort of, and of course Republican politicians too, they're all having sort of a tough time with this. It's early. It's in the early stages of this, so no one really knows which side to come down on. People want reconciliation, but they're not sure if they'll reconcile. Anyway, here's a great compilation of some of the reactions from various figures in MAGA World.
Now, stop to think how happy the media and the Democrats are today. They always wanted to break this alliance. Well, I talked to an insider today who said it's irreparable. It is irreparable.
Maybe Musk is publicly distancing himself from Trump to help his brand recover. Maybe he needs liberals to buy his cars. We don't know.
And also, Elon, if you knew he was on the Epstein client list, why did you let him board Marine One with your son? Just asking.
President Trump is working directly with senators. He's taken the high ground with Elon and the back and forth online. He's more focused on passing the big, beautiful bill.
Well, I don't know that he's taken the high road. I mean, he's accused Elon Musk of going crazy, and he's threatened to take away all of his government contracts.
I trust the math from the guy that lands rockets backwards over the politician's math.
I'd go with Trump politically. The two biggest dogs in the pound, they're going to turn on each other eventually.
The two biggest dogs in the pound.
Place your bets. Who you got?
There's real children of a divorce vibe going on here. They don't really know how to handle it. These are people they loved or at least deified for maybe sincere or probably political reasons over the last couple of years. Here and now they've broken up. They don't know where to go. And like you mentioned this, that some of them want reconciliation, but they don't know if they should have reconciliation because is reconciliation seen as an act of treason in Trump world?
Right.
It's very interesting.
They don't like the mess. Jesse Waters, later in that clip, right after he throws out possibilities for why Elon has turned on the bill and Trump, he's like, I don't know. We're just spitballing here, which is one of the more honest takes from someone on Fox.
In that same episode, I think Greg Gutfeld makes a plea to camera that if they're watching to please stop because he's so uncomfortable with this.
And when Laura Ingraham tells Charlie Kirk there that she heard it's irreparable, that was right after Charlie Kirk was like, please, they got to make up. They got to make up. So some people are having a tougher time than others.
Yeah, I mean, this is the divorce vibes, right? Some people want reconciliation. Some people are mad at one of the two parents, blaming them for it. Yeah. It's uncomfortable.
If you really want to see uncomfortable and someone who seems stuck in the middle and was sort of surprised with this information right on the spot, I got a great clip for you from our pal Joe Rogan.
This is going to come up because it's been going on since we've been recording here. Elon and Trump seem to be in a bit of a spat. Joe, you want to check the tweet that Elon just put out a little bit ago?
Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day. Jesus Christ.
I'm not participating in any of that conversation between Elon and
Have
Trump.
a nice day, DJD. Someone should take his phone away.
They're going back and forth about different things. And
Listen,
well, he said he was disappointed in Elon.
Yeah, they told him to leave.
Jesus Christ, that's a crazy thing to say. How does he know? Does he know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files? Or does he have access to the Epstein files?
I don't know how he would, but I'm just staying out of the Trump-Elon thing. That's way outside my lane.
What the fuck are they doing?
There's been a lot of criticism of Joe Rogan not being a journalist. And he's not pretending to be a journalist, but he's sitting there in the room with one of the few people on the planet who have read the Epstein files. And he does not ask him the question, Donald Trump in the Epstein files?
They go on, because I saw another clip where Kash Patel is like, no, we've released everything that there is. We promise if there's more, you'll get it. There's very few things that could make me feel for Kash Patel, but it's so funny. You're the fucking FBI director. And why are you on Joe Rogan as the FBI director? That's a topic for another day, I guess. But as the fucking fight explodes over the Epstein stuff, which you're also involved in, and Joe Rogan's like, do you have any comment?
Since I'm only operating off this clip, I basically did what a lot of people accuse Joe Rogan of doing, so I apologize for that. But just the odds that the guy involved in the Epstein files controversy is on Joe Rogan at the minute Elon Musk accuses Donald Trump of being in the Epstein files is amazing. But I guess if you're always doing MAGA media, eventually the odds that you're going to be in a place where something like this happens are quite high. JD Vance, when he was doing yesterday as this was happening, he's going on Theo Vaughn's podcast.
And also, Theo Vaughn, why are you holding that episode? I know you just released one this week, but I'd put that out right away. We have to wait now for the Theo
Who was
Vaughn?
on it earlier this week? Are you a Theo Vaughn subscriber?
Someone was just talking to me about this, who he had on, because they said it was an interesting episode. Anyway. Yeah. So I just
have you heard the term emergency pod, Theo?
And not even emergency. You recorded the interview. Yeah. Just drop the interview, man.
There's just someone waiting to put ad breaks in. That's all they're waiting for.
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger.
That's a good one. Thank you, Austin.
That's right. I did know that. No, but I did see that JD Vance was with Trump. Reporting said that he was with Trump when the tweets were unleashed by Elon, and Trump advised JD to be diplomatic.
He advised JD to do that. Interesting. I don't really believe that. I'm going to say.
I don't know if I believe.
Why would
that
JD
either.
need to be diplomatic? Elon just promoted him to president by tweet.
Ben Jacobs at Politico decided to do a story about how MAGA World is handling this, and he went to Butterworth's in D.C. I've never been. Have you been to Butterworth's?
No,
did it exist when we were there? It's new. Okay.
No,
so
no.
It's become like a MAGA hangout, I guess.
It is I think Steve Bannon is a part owner, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's owned by a bunch of MAGA people, and it's where all the MAGAs go to see and be seen.
So some great quotes that Ben got from his reporting. Raheem Kassam, who's a Nigel Farage guy. You probably see him on Twitter. He's a big MAGA Twitter guy. He said, this is what he thinks about Elon. The Tea Party sold out to Coke, said Kassam. MAGA will not sell out to ketamine.
It's a good quote.
Referencing the Koch brothers, of course.
Yes.
Double entendre there, in case you couldn't pick it up. One Trump administration appointee, who of course has not to be identified, put it starkly. This is Elon's insurrection. Insurrection? Yikes. Another administration official said, Elon should be careful. Trump could easily drug test him based on erratic behavior and nationalize SpaceX.
No, he can't do that. That's not a thing he can do.
Isn't that what happens? If you drug test random Americans, and if it comes up positive, you just nationalize the industry.
You get all their possessions. You can take their house, their business, all of it. It's just how it works.
That is obviously how it works.
Yes.
And then and one Beltway Republican groaned, a lot of staffers are having to explain what ketamine is to their bosses this week.
Fewer than you would think is my guess. I know how these Republicans party.
Everyone's learned about it. Big week for ketamine. Huge week for ketamine. You can, if you've got some product you're trying to move, this is the week.
Everyone who says there were no winners in this fight aren't ketamine.
Speaking of threatening to nationalize Elon's companies, we of course have, we mentioned it on Friday's pod, but we have some reaction from the man himself, Steve Bannon. Let's listen.
President Trump tonight should sign an executive order calling for the Defense Production Act to be called in SpaceX and seize SpaceX tonight before midnight. Because Elon Musk is illegal, and he's got to go too. Okay, you're going to ship these other people home. Let's start with the South Africans. Okay, and I got a couple other could go too, but he's illegal. Deport immediately. I'm not gay, but I love this man. I love this man more than any man can love a man. Remember that? I love this man. I love this man more than anybody can love a man. I know it sounded gay, but he told us up front, I'm not gay.
Let's see why Tommy loves the show.
I know. Very Tommy coded there.
I will say when that video first came on, I thought the guy to Steve Bannon's left very quickly was Gavin Newsome. I was quite concerned.
Newsom's like, how am I not in this conversation?
Yeah, they did a home and home pod.
There has been some weird, like Joey Manorino. He's like one of these MAGA tweeters.
Never heard that name before.
I know. Jane Coaston, our own Jane Coaston of What a Day, was tweeting about this yesterday. But he tweeted, Trump and Elon aren't attacking one another in a way that won't be fixed. People forget how men with testicles spar. You're watching two people with balls the size of the moon debate an issue. This is what masculinity looks like. Dan, do you think the whole thing was just a ploy to hang on to the young men in the MAGA coalition that they gained in 2024? Because this is how men deal with things.
This is how real men fight.
This is how real men fight on Twitter. It's a slap fight on Twitter.
Yes,
that's what real men do. There's also the same. Oh, Jack Posobiec.
We have 10 years in. We still don't know how to say his name, and we're not going to learn.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Some of y'all can't handle two high agency males going at it, and it really shows. This is direct communication, in parentheses, phallocentric, versus indirect communication, in parentheses, gynocentric. I understand you aren't used to it. It's tip to tip. That's what it is. We are doing tip to tip communication. Just a literal dick measuring contest.
Just real manly men. Yes.
That's what masculinity is, you know? It's just taking it out and go. Fucking, these people are unbelievable. Who do you think's going to win this? Who are your bets on, Dan? Not who should. We're not picking sides because they're both awful and it's really hard to figure out who's more awful. And I don't really want to have that debate.
No,
but who do you think holds the cards here?
Ketamine.
Ketamine's
the winner.
Someone said it was ketamine versus Adderall.
So I think we had ketamine versus dopamine yesterday. I don't think there are any. Ultimately, if Trump really wants to win here, like Trump has the power to cancel his contracts.
Yes.
And make his life hell in a whole host of ways that are definitely anti-democratic and probably illegal. He could do that. Elon Musk if Elon Musk really wanted to win, he could take his billions of dollars and put it into defeating Republicans and Donald Trump. He's obviously not going to do that, but I don't think anyone wins here.
Yeah, I think
the winners are us, because you and I have been in this studio you're on studio, me on this fake Zoom thing, talking about this for what feels like days now, and every minute of it has been enjoyable.
This is our Malaysian plane.
I was trying to think of, because we were there at the beginning with a YouTube video yesterday. We did a full pod on this yesterday. They came out on Friday morning. Now we're doing this again. I was trying to figure out who were the correspondents who were famous for covering a story. It's Bernie Shaw in the first Gulf War. But you're right. Wolf Blitzer in the Malaysian plane. That's us.
Yeah, that's us. That's us right now. We promise we'll do this with more substantive stories. But I think Trump has the upper hand because he has, if this was a war, he has the big army, right?
Yes.
But I could see Elon being very good at guerrilla warfare. I don't know that Elon doesn't have as many levers to pull here, but I think he can do some damage. He's got the biggest megaphone. He can do some damage.
Yeah, it really is Trump and Steve Bannon. Obviously, I'm thinking this. Obviously, if we took this to an actual war, Trump's going. He has the army, he has the military.
Yeah, if we started drafting to different teams.
But if you're just doing it's an online war, Elon does have a lot of people on his side, right?
He has a lot of posters.
How uncomfortable do you think the all-in host group chat is right now?
I don't want to just give them more listeners, but I will be listening to that pod as fast as possible.
They've been very quiet about this,
but only if they have Sachs on to talk about it. Because if it's
he's sort of,
I know it's hard, but he can't hide forever.
They love Elon.
They've all. I'm Jason, Calacanis. He's on Elon's side. He's been tweeting up a storm about Elon, and I don't know where Chamath.
He agrees with Elon on the bill.
Yeah. He'll somehow make it.
Why do I know this?
Chamath.
What is happening?
And then we'll see what happens. But I really want to hear what happens with David Sachs. I want to see.
I'll never learn the fourth guy's name, no matter how many times I try.
It's fine. We don't need to.
Yeah.
We don't need to. All right. Well, that's all we have for today. We just wanted to check in. I went to bed last night thinking, is this whole thing going to just be gone tomorrow, and it's going to be a brief, wonderful 24 hours, but. No, it hasn't.
The media's not going to let this die.
It hasn't escalated. There's been people were trying to show hints of de-escalation yesterday because Elon has stepped back from his threat to decommission the one spacecraft that NASA now is currently using to get people into space and get So he said some random person with 184 followers, some random account was like, "Hey, you're both grown men. Let's just try to step back from the brink here." And Elon's like, "You're right. I won't decommission this." And so
who you don't want to be right now?
Who?
The guy on the space station.
Jesus.
There's a fight between the guy who can send the rocket and the guy who makes the rocket, and that's not great.
Charlie, my son, is very, very into space right now, very into the solar system. And when I got home last night, Emily was like, Charlie has a lot of questions about Trump and Elon and the fight, especially because I told him Elon's a guy who builds spaceships. And I was like, I cannot fathom trying to figure out how to break this down for my almost 5-year-old son. I just think that is above his. He's not quite there yet. And if I tell him too much about Elon and rockets, he's just going to love Elon.
He's going to like him. Yeah, it's not great. He makes fast cars and rockets. That's not great.
I know exactly.
Does Charlie want to be an astronaut like Katy Perry?
No. Charlie is like me in that he is scared of a lot of things, especially flight and space. But he's fascinated. But he's also fascinated with it. And I know more. I know more about the solar system now than I did ever in my entire life.
It is amazing. The hard part about having children is trying to figure out where Pluto stands in its ever-evolving state as a planet or not a planet.
Dwarf planet.
It's a dwarf planet, as my 4-year-old told me the other day.
Yeah, it's in the Kuiper Belt, which is a belt of dwarf planets. I could give you all the dwarf planets, but that's another show. All right, everyone, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you haven't already, you just click the subscribe button before you click off. It's that easy.
It's free.
It's free.
It costs you nothing.
It's free, and you'll get great content like this. Bye, everyone.
Bye.